Daith da, Havin nakan. Welcome to podcast number 31. Now, I'm going to try something a bit different this week. I'm actually recording this at the beginning of the week, mainly because my editing skills ain't very good. And what I want to do, I did an interview, some of you might have heard it, in one of the podcasts a few weeks ago with Mother. And it proved very popular, talking about her memories growing up and that. So I thought I've been meaning to do another one. And so I'm aiming this week to do that. And this week I'm open to interview an old friend of ours. He still works with us now, John Moon. So this is my little introduction. And then we'll have a little chat with John. And then I'll round it all off directly. So here goes. Get on, John Moon. How we knacking?
All right, Dave. Thank you very much. Lovely.
Brilliant. Thank you for coming here today. I thought it'd be nice to have a yarn about Sladesbridge years ago. It's quite interesting, some of the things you've said to me about it. And I think you was born just up from where Slade's house is now. Is that right?
That's right, Dave. Yeah, just on the entrance to Davy Hill.
Yeah. And you said that had a thatch roof back then?
Yes, it was actually where my gran and grandfather lived, where I was born, which was under thatch.
Well, I never.
And I remember them taking it off after the war. I was old enough then to remember the blokes there taking it off and slating the roof.
Well, I never. And did you say there was another one in Slades as well that was thatched?
Yes, that one was next to the chapel, which is no longer there, I'm afraid. That was all knocked down when they widened the road, widened the village right through for when the motor car came along.
One thing I'd better just say for those, because obviously we have people listening to this all over the world, is where Sladesbridge is. And 'tis about a mile outside Wadebridge on the main road from Wadebridge to Bodmin. But I know, like you said, the road was narrow, and of course there's still a bridge there, but he was narrower as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, the bridge was only wide enough for a horse and cart to get over, or a car, a very small lorry when lorries was first made.
Yeah.
And that was it, like that, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously Slade's house, that wasn't always a pub, was it?
No, it was just known as Slade's house.
Yeah.
As I remember it.
Right.
And, you know, the family at that time used to take in visitors when that sort of came along.
Yeah.
And we had a very clever man that lived just up the road from Sladesbridge. His name was Alfie Edwards, and he was what we call a bone setter back at that time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people used to come to see him from all over the world, really. And a lot of them used to stay overnight in Slade's house and what have you, for bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Did he live at Inches,
He lived at Inches.
That's right.
In one of the council houses.
Yeah.
And then when he, after a while, when his business got bigger, he built the big house next to the council houses, which is all still there today.
Yeah, that's the Dove, I think. Is that the Dove? Is it? The big house there next door?
I don't know what they call a big house, eh? No,
yeah.
But yeah.
Very good. And you said there was a blacksmith in the village as well?
Yes, we had a blacksmith in the village. And I used to go in there as a young boy and turn the wheel for him sometimes to keep the fire going. We also had a shop in the village.
Where was that one to then?
That was right in the middle of the village as you go down a little lane over to Kessel Mill.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Yeah.
The shop was down there, which we used to call down behind, or some of the village people called it Teapot Row.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
And then you went over a little bridge that went over a little stream that came all the way down like from Washaway.
Yeah.
And there was a mill there. I used to go over there at times in the mill with the miller and do a bit of crushing and what have you. Corn.
Well, never. God.
And then that was a shop. And then we had a post office in the village as well.
God, good grief.
and that was the place where we used to use a telephone first going off, or not me, but my parents.
Yeah.
Because the post offices were the first places to get a landline.
I see.
That was before they put the phone boxes in the village.
All right.
And then, so if there was an emergency and we wanted to get hold of anybody quick, or anybody wanted to get hold of us, they would always phone the post office.
Right.
And our mum would have to go over to the post office and take or give a message.
Crumbs.
And like in my mum's day, I mean, she remembered the phone box being put up in the village, and she was still living when they taken it down.
Took it down, yeah. Because mother was Beryl, wasn't she?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, and father was Charlie.
Charlie, yeah.
And mother's maiden name, she was a bear, wasn't she?
She was a bear, yeah.
And that was a big family, wasn't it?
And mum was one of 8.
Crumbs.
And that's how I was actually born over Gran and Grandfather's house, because mum was the oldest.
Right.
And, of course, I was naturally the first grandchild.
Yeah.
Out of the 26 of us.
Good grief. Yeah.
And, that's how all that came about.
Yeah.
And then mum and dad bought a cottage in the village as well, like, right after the war. And, so we all lived in the village.
Yeah.
And I was very, very lucky because I had 2 homes in the village.
Yeah.
And I had 2 mums and 2 dads, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I spent so much time with Gran and Grandfather as I did with mum and dad.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
And,
And of course, the road going through Slades was a lot quieter back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was hardly any cars, much like when, I was old enough to go to school and what have you.
Yeah.
No, it was very quiet. The gentry and a few farmers, like the Mulsers from Buncaro, and a few of the farmers had a car, but there was hardly anybody in the village, like when I was born, that had a car then.
Yeah. And I didn't realise until recently that the village actually come under the Pancaro estate with the Mulsers.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. What it was, all the village except for 2 houses belonged to the Mulser family at Pancaro.
Right.
And whether it was just before the war or whether it was during the war, that I can't remember. But they sold the village off and, auctioned it all off. And different people bought properties in the village at the time.
Yeah. So where was the post office to in the village then?
The post office was like sort of on the... As you enter to go up Pendavy Hill, past Slade's house, was on the left-hand side of Pendavy Hill.
Is that where Jack Steer lived?
That's where,
right.
That was the post office.
Yeah.
His mum and dad run the post office at the time.
Well, I never. God.
And then there was also, like I say, the blacksmith as well we had, and the shop and the post office. And then there was another place, because it all come under Pancaro at that time.
Yeah.
And at the end of Slade's house, there was a building up over where 2 of the carpenters from Pancaro did all their joinery work.
Ah, right.
And what have you.
Yeah.
Of course, everything was done by hand then. There were no power tools or... Nothing like that. No electric even in the village at that time.
Crumbs. Yeah.
And I used to go over there and collect sawdust and shavings for me ferrets and what have you. I always kept ferrets to go out and catch a rabbit when I wanted to. And and they used to give me hammer and nail, and I used to be over there with them as well. Lovely couple, 2 brothers they were, and brilliant. To, watch them working and what have you.
Yeah, well, I know. And how big was the chapel then before it was scattered?
The chapel was only a small chapel.
Right.
But a lovely schoolroom, what we called back in those days, and which was all lovely for the village.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a stage there. We had concerts there, and and anybody's birthday in the village or any occasions. I mean, the schoolroom was always there for the village.
Yeah.
And that when they knocked the chapel and that down and to widen the village and what have you, I mean, that was sort of the end of the village, to what it is today as such.
So I suppose you had to go chapel every week, did they?
Oh, yeah. I went, just funny, really. I was brought up Methodist and I had to go Sunday school over chapel.
Yeah.
And like all the rest of the village.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they closed it several years before they actually widened the village.
Right.
But the schoolroom was kept open.
Oh, I see.
So we could still use the schoolroom, the village could, but not the chapel.
No.
And then, of course, Mother made us to go church then, so we had to go church Sunday school then.
Oh, what's that, Eglesale?
Eglesale, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I never.
Yeah, we still had to go Sunday school. So Mother sent us off to church then.
Yeah.
So we went from Methodist to Church of England, overnight.
And I know where I live, they always had trouble with flooding. Did you have trouble out Slades with flooding much? Or
Oh,
no?
yeah, flooding was terrible back in those days. When I was a youngster coming in, we've had water in our cottage sometimes 3 times during the winter.
Get away.
When we had really hard and heavy rain and what have you,
Yeah.
Oh, it's shocking it used to be, yeah.
Yeah.
It really did.
I know my father took a photo of Slades when it was flooded once, and Peter and Stephen Meeks was there in a canoeing on the main road.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
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 Just in front where Trelawney Garden Centre is now. That's where he took a photo.
All flooded but when they widened the village, of course they widened the bridge as well then, and that helped a lot. And then they built the roads up higher.
Yeah.
And then, since that they've put in the flood prevention scheme, and, I don't think anybody actually get flooded out there now.
No. We don't. And even our insurance now is normal as if you were near a floodplain, so which is good.
Yeah.
So where did you go school then, first of all?
First of all, in Bridge, infant school first.
Oh, yeah.
Where when we started school, we were mixed. And then the infant school was next to the girls' school.
Yeah.
And when they were 8, they went to the girls' school. And then we went to the boys' school then, which was other side of town up West Hill.
Yeah, that's right.
When we was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I stayed there until I was 15, and that was it.
Well, I never
went to work then.
Yeah.
That was before the comprehensive school was built.
Yeah, because with us, we went
secondary then as it was.
Yeah, that's right. We went infant school, we went boys' school, but then we went secondary school after that. But, yeah. You said some other day about a cold winter. Mother was walking you to school about the camel.
Oh, yes. The year I started school in 1947 was a very, very cold, hard winter.
Right.
And Mother took me to school because I started school after the Christmas holidays because my birthday was in the middle of January.
Right.
And now whether the actual cold spell was in January or whether it was February, that I can't remember, but the River Camel was frozen over. One morning my mother took me to school and she took me over on the bridge and lifted me up to show me the camel in Bridge right on Bridge End was frozen right over. I always remember that.
Yeah.
That's how cold it was.
Yeah. So where did he start work to then when you left school?
I started work before I left school.
All right.
I used to do some bits and pieces in Slade's house because they kept a couple of house cows and kept chickens and pigs and what have you. And I used to go there and milk a cow before I went to school.
Crumbs.
Done the same thing when I came home.
Yeah. And
then when I was 14, I think it was, I went into Clapper Farm to work.
Yeah.
Just after school and holiday time and what have you.
Yeah.
And when I left school, I stayed there for a couple of years before I left.
Well, I never. So was that Jim or was that his parents? So who would that have been? The Phillips
Yeah,
family.
that was Jim
Yeah.
Phillips' family then that
Yeah.
took on Clapper from his dad, like.
Yeah. That's right. Because
yeah.
they had a couple of huts up the top of the lane that goes down to my house, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. There were 3 Nissan huts there, Dave, when I was there as a
Right.
youngster. One was a battery house, one was a deep litter house, and the other one was all pig pens.
Oh,
they
yeah.
used breeding sows and, rear their own pigs,
Yeah.
to send off
Right.
to the markets, and all the eggs. And they used out on the marshland towards Sladesbridge, they used to keep a lot of geese.
Right.
And, when they laid this time of the year onwards, used to incubate all the eggs and sell on the goslings and what have you.
Oh, well, I never.
Yeah.
Because our house is now Goosey Cottage, but 'twas Marsh Cottage. So I don't know if that's where the name changed now, if with the geese and that, I don't know.
No, yeah, it is higher side of Clapper House is where they used to
right.
keep a lot of the geese
Other
at that time.
Oh, I see. I get it.
Of course, the railway was going through the village then at that time, we say as
Oh,
well.
of course, yeah.
See, we had the railway line going up through the village and crossing the main road just
Yeah.
before you get to Trelawney,
That's
as
right.
it is now, the guard centre,
Yeah.
which used to be just a little small holding then.
Yeah. What a big place that is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to play there, big pond there, we'd catch tadpoles, and it used to be a big play area there for us as well.
Cool.
As you go up the Troarder Woods.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So where did he go working after that then, after the Phillipses?
I went on with a firm then in Whitebridge called Sydney Jewell.
Ah, yeah.
And they had worked the quarry out, Sladesbridge. There was a quarry there, which they worked the quarry, and we worked down to the quarry. Like, they was a civil engineering firm.
Right.
And I went there to work and went on with the road gang, with Tarmac gang. On with the Tarmac gang, yeah. Travelling all over the county and into Plymouth as well. We did a lot of work.
Yeah.
And yeah, which was great.
Because they employed a lot of men, didn't they?
Yeah, there was up to 100 men or more there,
Cool.
at one stage, yeah.
Yeah. Which for a small town like Wadebridge is
Yeah.
big back then, really,
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
it?
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
brilliant.
because I think that's called Kessel Quarry, but of course all the locals,
Yeah.
we all call it Jules Quarry, didn't us?
Well, yeah, always
Yeah.
called, yeah, but it was, actual name was Castle Quarry,
Yeah.
which I think at that time they used to rent it off Pencarrow at that time.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, right on. Where did he go after Jules then?
After Jules, I went on with Basie's
Yeah.
out to Cullum.
Yeah.
They started up in civil engineering, and they bought new machinery, tarmacking machine and road rollers and what have you. And they advertised for drivers. So I rang them up and we went out myself, because there was 2 operators on the Barbara Green tarmacking machine
Right.
and a roller driver, and we went out there one Saturday for an interview, and well, we had the job, there and then, because what we went out there to do was exactly the same as what we were doing, with Sydney Jules.
Yeah.
And they offered us a shilling an hour more, plus our transport to and fro every
Get
day.
away. God, brilliant.
So that was that. So, yeah.
Because my Uncle Ken, he drove a low loader, didn't he,
That's
for
right.
Paisleys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
God, dear.
Yeah, I used to go with Ken sometimes if we wasn't tarmacking, and help him sometimes to load gear and take around the countryside.
Yeah. Well, I never.
That was, lovely lorry. He had a 40-footer with the back steering on it, but there was a donkey engine on the back steering, so there had to be 2 of you, because one of you had to go and start the donkey engine to turn the back wheels when we're like going through St. Cullum, for instance, before the bypass was ever built.
Well, I never.
Getting around there,
Yeah.
and even you could go up through Trigonetha from St. Column, but you couldn't come down through with it.
Well, I know.
Yeah, it was, so, there had to be two of you on that lorry a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And I used to go with Ken a lot of times on that.
Yeah. God, brilliant. And then after Baisley's?
After Baisley's, while I was on with Baisley's, I used to do a lot of hire work for Associated Asphalt, subsidiary to ECLP at the time.
Yeah.
They took on from ECC Quarries, and one day the manager came around and he said, John, he said, I'm thinking about buying our own machine.
Right.
Instead of hiring Baisley's all the time.
Yeah.
He said, I can tell you this. He said, by law, we got to advertise, which we will do. But if you would like the job and come on with us, the job is yours.
Well, I never.
Which I did. And I went back that evening and had a word with Mark Baisley, our boss.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, that's fine. So, by some means or other, I suppose, he got hold of Associated Asphalt, and Associated Asphalt bought the machine. So, we went with the machine and everything else on Associated Asphalt then.
Crumbs.
And that was up until 1973, when times were very hard and work was getting very scarce in the county.
Yeah.
And Baisley's packed up, and I had a mate that worked on Baisley's, and we decided to have a go on our own.
Yeah.
Which we did for 25 years until he retired. And then that left me on my own then.
Yeah.
Because I had another 10 years before I was 65 to do.
Yeah.
And a bloke from Trelights saw me one day in Juices one morning getting some materials, and he said, what are you thinking of doing now, John? Your mate have retired. Because he said, I don't want an answer now, he said, but if you would like a job, he said, I would like for you to come on with us. God. He said, we're looking for a painter and decorator is what we really need.
Was that Terry Harris, was it?
That was Terry Harris from Trelights.
Yeah.
So I got thinking it over, and I thought, well, I ain't getting no older now, and I'm just me.
Yeah.
When there's two of you, you can tackle most jobs, but when you're on your own, you're limited to what you can do.
Yeah.
So I took it up, and I spent my last 10 year then with Terry. Well, 10 year and a bit really, because I went on part-time until I was 70 with Terry.
Yeah.
And also part-time with Mr. Bray, who I'm speaking with now.
Yeah, and you're still on with us?
Still on with Mr. Bray today.
And for a few more years yet, hopefully, too. That's
well, lovely. I don't know about that now, I'm sure. But, yeah.
And your med up Trigonetha, that was Cyril.
That was Cyril Brenton from Trigonetha, yeah.
Yeah. I always remember when dear Cyril passed away, he left instructions on the back of his order of service. We had to print there a little caption which said, I told you you'd get me in the end, Mr. Bray, which I thought was lovely, really. Oh, dear of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going back to Slades then, because was it Grandad that worked on the barges, was it? Or?
Yeah, my grandfather, he was a labourer all his life. He left school. First, he worked for what they called then the North Cornwall Boot Company.
Right. Which
was in Mulser Street in Weybridge. He worked there as an errand boy when he left school for Squinoff.
Right.
And then his dad was on the barges in Weybridge at the time. And, you know, he got older and he went on the barges then with his dad. Now, I can't remember the barges. They were sort of finished and gone by the time I was old enough to remember.
Right.
But, you know, Grandfather told me a few things about the barges. used to work and what have you and what have you. And one thing I still always remember, he said, when they built the cinema in Weybridge, there was a little stream going up beside the cinema up towards Polmorla,
Yeah.
and the bridge that goes over the road, the stream ran under there, and I can't remember, the grandfather told me, saying, and we didn't write things down, and I can't remember the name of the firm that actually built the cinema, but it was a Weybridge firm at the time.
Yeah.
And they went to grandfather's dad and Jeremiah Bear, and said, Jerry, look, if you can get up in under the bridge with the barges, or with your barge, with the sand, then it would be unloaded right on site to build the cinema.
Crumbs.
To save them picking it up from down on the quay with horse and cart and bringing it over.
Cool.
So, and they said, we'll give you extra sixpence if you can do that for us.
Get away.
So they sized it up, and they thought, yeah, if they catch the tide coming in, just enough water to get in under the bridge and get where the cinema is now to unload and get out again, because if they didn't get out, they wouldn't be able to catch the tide for the next morning to go down the river again.
Cool.
And they would have lost a day's work, and they couldn't afford to do that.
No.
So they planned it out, and they got it all right, and they got up and under, because the barges used to carry 16 ton of sand, and unloaded, get out to get down on North Quay again, ready to go next morning's tide.
Brilliant.
And they used to do that. That was for extra sixpence they had for that.
Yeah, that's Tregunnock Bridge, is it?
That's Tregunnock Bridge, yeah.
Which is still there today.
Which is still there today, exactly same, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. So, with village life in Sladesbridge, I take it you had a lot of other family around you, did he?
Yes, there was other families. There was one of grandfather's brothers' families, and they were all there. Most of them had started to get married, like when I was a youngster, but they were still in the village, a lot of them, before they got married. And, and some married into other people in the village and what have you.
Yeah.
We was one happy family, like, really, and everybody helped each other out.
Yeah, yeah.
We had allotments in the garden, in the village as well.
Yeah.
And another thing, like when we were youngsters, well, like I say, we went to Sunday school, and everything happened in the village, in the schoolroom, where everything went on, like concerts there, and families could have their parties there, and birthday parties for the children, and play parties, and everything went on there. We even had a full-size snooker table.
Cool.
In schoolroom as well, and dartboards hanged up and ring boards where everybody played. That's where I learnt to play darts. When I used to put a stool up in front of the dartboard for me so I could reach to take my darts out of the board. That's where I learnt to play darts, and that was one of my big hobbies as a youngster. Really, was darts and fishing and that sort of thing.
Because you wasn't a bad dart player, really, was he?
Well, I did go on, and I played for the county for 11 years nearly.
Cool, brilliant.
And the indoor counties and that came in, and travelled around the country in Wales a lot, playing darts, and really enjoyed that.
Well, I never.
And then after I finished with that, I've always, one thing I wanted to do was to sing with a male voice choir.
Right, yeah.
Which I sang with one or two choirs around the county over the years, and I sing now with Weybridge as well at this particular time.
Brilliant.
And another thing we used to do in the village on Good Friday when we were youngsters was go up in the woods and pick primroses to decorate the chapel for Easter Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
That was another thing you always, always in your mind. You don't forget all these little things that you used to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. And there were some characters. I mean, obviously I'm a few years younger than you, but to me, like Slades is like the Dannon family. I remember Ron Hill, he lived over there.
Yeah.
Jack Steer,
Yeah.
Lowell,
Oh yeah, there were some characters in the village. There really was, yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody, we all got on together, and yeah, things was good, really.
Brilliant. Well, that's good. Well, I think that's been very good. I think we'll finish it there for today.
Right,
And then
okay.
if we think of other things in the future, perhaps we'll do another episode then.
Yeah, radio, buddy.
All right.
Yeah,
So
thanks for that.
thank you very much, John. If you say goodbye to everybody.
Yes, cheerio, everybody, and thanks for listening.
Proper job. Wonderful. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. It was really did enjoy talking to John. And I say we'll hopefully have him back again in the future to talk about other memories that he got. But my thoughts now are heading towards the weekend and the London Marathon. And it could be an interesting one, actually. I don't know if you have seen the news. Obviously, I'm now talking to you on Wednesday, so you won't be hearing this till Saturday, so things might have developed since then. But I woke to the news this morning that there's up to 30,000 protesters and demonstrators expected to descend on London over a long weekend from Friday to Monday, and all different organisations. And some have said that they don't intend to disrupt the marathon, but others have said that they may well disrupt the marathon. So it could be interesting. Obviously, I was intending to perhaps get in with the elite ones and run up front with Mo Farah kind of thing. But I'm thinking with all this possible disruption, I'm going to take a lower profile. So my actual start time is between, I think it's between 11 and 11:15. Now, if I remember, at about 10:15 to 11, that sort of time, I've got to have my phone with me and turn on, flick a switch on it, and then that should start a tracking thing. So then hopefully you will be able to track me. But I'm not sure what my number is at the minute, but I'll most probably, perhaps Saturday evening, I will put any more details I got on my Facebook page, I think. But I mean, if you perhaps look for me going across the start line at 11 o'clock and then perhaps go downtown, do a bit of shopping, take the dogs down to the beach, come back, have a dinner, have a sleep for an hour or two, and then have a look, and then I should still be running and you should see me come over the finish line. Well, I'm hoping I might be a bit quicker than that, but that's the plan anyway. But thank you once again to everyone that's donated. We've gone over £2,000 now in just a few weeks. It's fantastic. And I'll put the link on again on our Facebook page, and I don't know if it's on our website or no, but just look for David and James Bray Marathon for Fleet. Obviously, sadly, James has had to pull out this year with injury, but once again, thank you to everybody who've donated. So, for me Cornish dialect word of the week, I don't know if you remember last week I did talk about Port Isaac, and as usual I had some lovely comments on my Facebook page and the Works Facebook page afterwards, and I had a lovely comment from our dear friend Sue Norfolk down at Padstow, and she said something along the lines, I do love Yarny Goat country. And Yarny Goat, I remember I had heard that word years ago. I'd forgotten all about it, and I thought that would be my word for the week, Yarny Goat. And basically, 'tis the word that Padstonians use for their Port Isaac neighbours, the fishing fleet, their neighbouring fishermen. Basically, 'tis insinuating by the Padstonians that the Port Isaac fishermen would spend more time in the pub telling yarns about the time they spent at sea than they actually did at sea. But, Sue, she's a Padstow maid through and through, but I think she said her nan come from Port Isaac, so she got a foot in both camps sort of thing. But there is to give the other side of the argument, so I'm a bit diplomatic here. I did also see that due to the exposure of the harbour there at Port Isaac, the fishermen couldn't always put out to see if the weather was a bit iffy, so they would actually meet up on the Platte in Port Isaac and tell yarns. So 'tis up to you which side of the argument you take, but that was me word for the week, yarny goat. And for me Cornish language word of the week, I've gone for Ponds Lane. Now, ponds is easy because that's bridge. And lanes, that is a little bit, it can mean like concealed or obscured or something. But what Ponds Lane is Cornish for is Sladesbridge. So whether like John said when we was talking, 'twas such a narrow little bridge, and I'm wondering if that's how 'twas described, that's how it's got his name. But Ponds Lane is Cornish for Sladesbridge. So there we go. Well, when I speak to you next, 'twill be the other side of the marathon. I will either have got a personal best, or if I don't, I'll blame it on the protesters, whether they protest or no. But I'm hoping it'll go well. So you can probably guess what next week's podcast is going to be about anyway. But thanks for listening again, and wish you well. Speak to you next week. Do Guinness, and Kernovis Vickham.